Dead Man is a clever and well-constructed murder mystery, but it's a little offensive. Today I'm breaking down why the mystery worked so well, and where personal commentary could be toned down just a little bit before you pass that popcorn. If you haven't seen Wake Up Dead Man and want to go in blind, be warned because the story and the reasons for the details contain spoilers. Now, let's get this party started.
I mean, really, let's do this, mother!
First up is the acting and details, which I give a 9 out of 10. The acting in this movie is stellar across the board. Every character feels convincing, and it's great seeing Jeremy Renner on screen again. More importantly, for a murder mystery, the characters are very well written. Boring or similar characters can really tank a mystery.
The attention to detail is excellent.
From the sets to the locations to the subtle little clues woven throughout this mystery, everything feels deliberate. By the end of the film, you can look back and clearly see how all the pieces fit together, which is exactly what you want from a strong whodunit.
It's all coming together.
Now for the story and script, which I give a 7 out of 10. The mystery itself is very well done. If you're paying close attention, it actually feels possible to solve the mystery before the big reveal, which is a big compliment.
Nice.
Now, nothing is spoon-fed to the audience, but when the truth finally comes out, it all makes sense and feels earned. Even the ending works emotionally. While the killer doesn't go to jail, it's not frustrating because the killer's suicide was already set in motion. The detective did solve the case just a little bit too late. So the ending itself, pretty satisfying.
That's not bad.
The script is strong overall, and combined with the mystery, it makes the 2.5-hour runtime feel bearable. This movie was much better than the second one. However, what drags the story down for me is how blasphemous it feels at times. The film repeatedly goes out of its way to have characters dismiss God, religion, and faith as just fairy tales.
Was that necessary?
I mean, this was a murder mystery centered around a Catholic church. So this repetition starts to feel less like a well-thought-out script and more like a personal vendetta. It raises the question, was the mystery just written to attack the Catholic faith? That said, I did appreciate the fact that the priest stayed a priest and ends the story with a renewed sense of faith instead of turning away from it. So that helped to balance things out, at least somewhat.
But I'm still watching you.
Here's your spoiler warning, guys, because now we're getting into the reasons for the rating. This movie is billed as a PG-13 murder mystery, and that's pretty accurate. So let's talk about that.
Sex, baby.
There's an uncomfortably long confessional scene with the Monsignor where he discusses pleasuring himself, including a reference to a dream involving girl cats that he also pleasured himself to.
That's just wrong.
There were also vulgar anatomical drawings drawn on a church building that were being painted over.
Drugs and alcohol.
There was liquor, beer, and cigarettes consumed during this movie. There were also a couple of times of character intoxication, mostly from the alcoholic in the movie.
The gross stuff.
Everything talked about in the sex content, that was gross.
Ew.
Additionally, there's an autopsy scene where the body gets flipped over, and that's a little bit much, not gonna lie.
Language.
This wasn't so bad considering the movie was almost 3 hours long. There's 1 F word, 20 S words, 1 A word, 5 B words, 3 uses of blasphemy, and 5 others.
Time for violence.
The story involves 3 murders via poisoning and stabbing, as well as an unpreventable suicide. Most of the violent acts weren't shown directly, and instead revealed through investigation, which makes it easier to process. All the murders were shown when the detective was going through the reveal, but it's very quick.
I know who killed him and how and where.
Additional moments outside of the murders include some physical altercations, a church being desecrated, a skeleton discovered in acid, and a body being pushed down the stairs. Blood is minimal as well, and the film doesn't linger on the bodies. So basically, if you were able to handle the first 2 movies, you'll definitely be able to handle this movie.
Prepare for the fight scene.
Overall, I give this movie a 7 out of 10. Wake Up Dead Man is a strong and intelligently written murder mystery with excellent performances and awesome attention to detail. The clues are fair, the resolution is satisfying, and the runtime flies by with a well-crafted script.
Wow, that's impressive.
However, the film's repeated jabs at faith within a Catholic setting feels excessive and distracting and can be viewed as offensive, which kind of drags down what could have been a really awesome murder mystery. Despite those issues, it remains an engaging and well-acted murder mystery.
Wrap that up and give it to a child on Christmas, because we're done.
Hey, don't go yet, there's still more to see. Click right here to check out my most recent review on Anaconda. Despite having Paul Rudd and Jack Black, it was a horrible excuse for an action comedy. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and just remember, once you pass the popcorn to me, it's okay to talk, it's okay to text, and I'll see you later. Bye!